Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yeah, I'm having one of those mornings. Anyway, shut that music off. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And I'm rolling my eyes like a motherfucker. You know what I'm about to say. Happy Tuesday. It is the Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024, where I just got bribed by Ms. Kamala Harris. And note the thrill in my visage. I am so excited to be thrilled. By the way, can I get a let's go? If you are following me on X, I just need a let's go. Here's the X tweet, post, whatever. Reply, let's go. It's in the chat. I came up with this term snafu. Did I do that? I don't know. I don't even know what that snafu. I don't know where that word came from. I have no idea. There must be an acronym. No, not an acronym. What's it called when you have something that spells? Yeah, an acronym. Is that's acronym? Does that sound right? Yeah, something. Anyway, I got bribed by Kamala Harris because she seems to be lagging among black men. Some 20% or more of black men are considering voting for Trump. And so 80% is not enough for Ms. Harris. Actually, it might be more. I think it's 20% of black people are considering Donald Trump or are undecided, which is amazing because that's really more than any Republicans gotten in years. But, when you are burdened by what has been, sometimes you will find out what can be. And so Ms. Harris is decided that she's going to come up with, what does she call it? Kamala Harris will create an opportunity agenda for black men. Because, first we had Barack Obama out here chastising black men, and now she's coming up with a bribe. And I call it the Gucci in every closet, which is going to end up being pro-kids. But because that's how they do black people. They probably make a lot of promises. But they don't really have the right solutions. Because look, all this stuff that she has on this list, and I'll explain it later, is really just geared. It's shit that we already get. It's already available. It's stuff that I'm like, why is she putting up this race-based shit? Oh, because she's lagging with black men. But if you think about it, the things on this list, it's not going to help anybody that couldn't help themselves. I'm just saying. We'll get to it. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody first in chat. Today is Mr. Avocados Diablo because that's unusual. You get the bell. I'm giving you a horn too because I can. Also, good morning to, by the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Viva Las Vegas. Good morning, Anon. 1, 2, 3. Also, Kara Soldiers in the house. Mike Savage, Blarg. Scribe Light, Dog Thrabble. Also, good morning to who else is here? Green Badger Outdoors, Lord Stanhope, GDSOB, my Special K on Acid, and Johnny Boomertech. So that's it. That's all it's here. Damn, where's everybody? Where the hell is there? Of course, I came late, and there's people get that lag on the notification, but people will start showing up. Hit that. Just give me look, I'm serious. Give me a let's go on that X post if you're on X, and people realize it, right? Steph Colonel's in the house. What up, Steph? Friend from Hotep Nation. Also, number one is here. Heidi. All yes, good. All right. I'm only going to go through a couple things training because I really want to talk about black men, which I am of that demographic. And I saw the vice president's appeal to black men, which is, I got to be honest, it's not necessarily all that appealing to me because, well, one, I'm old, and I don't know, but CG, thank you, CG, thank you, CG. Are you here? I see you retweet all my stuff, and you got the let's go there, and I'm just wondering. I don't know who you are in the chat though. If you're in the chat, anyway. Good morning, Rodline. Good morning, Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
So anyway, thanks to all of you who are doing that. Just type in "let's go" and we'll keep the thing rolling. Anyway, things that are in the news right now. Walgreens. I don't have a special day. Does anyone have a special day today? I really haven't looked. But Marty, all this time I thought you were Portuguese and Samoan. Well, look. A lot of people attribute a lot of things to me, as far as my heritage. In fact. Hello, Bookworm Maddox. What's up? In fact, we took Lady Boomer's mother out for her birthday Friday night. Did I tell you about her birthday? Yeah, we went to. I don't know why she likes Outback Steakhouse, but she does, and she always gets the fillet and lobster tail because because she likes it, whatever, and that's what she likes, and so the waitress just before we left, she got this is, and I tell you, I almost fell on the floor laughing. Hello, Willie won't. As I was leaving, she said to me, you kind of look like Jason Momoa. Is that his name? Jason Momoa? The Samoan looking dude? Jason Momoa. And I laughed because I've heard someone say that before, except they said like I looked like an old Jason Momoa. And I just chuckled. I'm like, yeah, I guess I've heard that once or twice. And then she said, she proceeded, yeah, you look like you could be his dad. And I laughed so hard, the entire restaurant turned and looked because I thought it was hilarious that she thought I could be Jason Momoa's dad. I'm like, okay. And then she goes, no, that's a good thing. I'm like, oh, CG, just YouTube dumb, and I don't know how to change my name. Oh, you're a 1, 2, 3. I was wondering, Jason Mimosa. No, not Jason Mimosa. Anyway, and so I thought it was really funny. She goes, oh no, that's a good thing. He's really good looking. And I'm like, okay, well then you're giving me a compliment. And both my wife just snorted, and we just thought it was funny. But the point there is often people attribute certain ethnicities and races to me that I am not. For example, Jason Momoa is not a black man. Okay, and I am a black man. Even though I have half of my heritage is Irish, I am, my father's like straight Africa black man, like Nigeria. Okay, my natural father. I grew up in a ADOS family because I was adopted when I was 4 years old. So I grew up in a black family, and we've traced back both my mother and my father's family tree that I grew up with. My mom and dad, they're my mom and dad. My mother and my father are the people who bore me. My mom and dad are the people I grew up with. And we trace my mom and dad's, especially my dad's side. My grandmother knew a lot of her family history all the way back to the plantation that her father was born a slave on. And she also, one of her grandmothers was a slave in Ohio that was brought across to, not in Ohio, in Kentucky, but brought over to Ohio. Her father was this man who showed up every once in a while, the white man who showed up with gifts every once in a while. And then one day they took her in the middle of the night across the river into Ohio. And this man occasionally showed up, her and her mother, and the person came to their house occasionally bringing gifts, and one day he stopped coming and everyone was crying and was like, oh, that was her grandmother's father. And then from there, whatever, the rest is history. There's a whole bunch of history. But in fact, the state of Iowa, my grandmother, my dad's mom, grandmother, she's in a history book about Iowa, and she was one of the stories that's told in that book. So that's kind of cool. I have the book upstairs. But anyway, why I brought that up is that when I was growing up, I got someone's like, "Oh, you must be Cuban." I'm like, "Why do you think I'm Cuban?" Well, your complexion, this and that, blah blah blah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I found out when I was 40 that no, I am in fact half Nigerian and half Irish. Thus, I am Black Irish. Anyway, enough about that. Walgreens is in the news. Oh, did anyone put a special day on here, by the way? Unacceptable Views is in the house. My other favorite Canadian. Nice to see you. And did I miss anybody yet? Okay, I'm good. All right. So anyway, things that are trending. Let's start with Walgreens is trending because apparently Walgreens is in trouble. Breaking. Walgreens has just announced they will close another 1,200 stores, or 14% of their U.S. locations. Walgreens is the stocks plunged 90% from its high in under a decade. This is one of the most sudden and shocking collapse of a blue chip retailer and a wake-up call for the sector. That's not good. 1,200 freaking stores. Now, again, they still have a lot of stores. If that's only, what they say, it's 12 or 14% of their U.S. stores. So that Walgreens is a lot of freaking stores. But yeah, they're having trouble. Someone says Kamala's America. Here's a, let's see, is this a report? Let's see if this report has any. Oh, this is only 18 seconds.
Plans to close about 500 locations across the United States in the next year. Breaking news this morning, Walgreens is closing about 1,200 stores over the next 3 years. That news just coming into the newsroom. The drugstore chain says it's struggling to pick up business. Walgreens first announced plans to downsize in June. Walgreens plans to close about 500 locations across the United States in the next year.
Okay, now, a part of that, it's interesting because, you know, they're used to, you could barely drive 5 miles in the United States without driving by a Walgreens, right? And, but the thing is, though, during that, in the same part of my lifetime, I've seen so many CVS stores pop up. So the CVS is up a lot. What's the other one? There's another one. What's the other big? National Grouch Day. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, cool. I thought he was Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico. Now everyone's throwing in ethnicities. Dominican. Puerto Rico, you lovely island of tropical breezes. Jimmy Das Hotep's in the house. What's up, Jimmy? So let's see. This woman says 4 years ago, Walgreens were not locked up, but today you can't even buy candy without pushing a button for help. But they tell you crime is down. Okay, yeah. Look, if you're at a Walgreens in San Francisco, and someone comes in with a plastic bag, that means they're about to fill it with a bunch of stuff and walk out because, you know, that $1,000 rule in California? If it's not over $1,000, it's not a felony, so people just walk in and out. So anyway, someone here says, I was in Walgreens today, and over the loudspeaker, they were encouraging people to take the new COVID-19 booster and the flu shot at the same time. At the end of the announcement, they said, brought to you by Pfizer. Simply put, it is not about you, it's about the money. Yeah, anyway, I'll put the AP story in the links. We're not going to read it. Move on. Sydney Wilson is trending. Now, if you're not familiar with Sydney Wilson, apparently was about to be the new cause du jour. Sydney Wilson is a former, I believe, Georgetown women's basketball player who was shot by a police officer. This is Sydney Wilson, a lovely young lady. This right here, Georgetown women's basketball mourns the tragic loss of Sydney Wilson, class of 13, so she 11 years ago, forever a Hoya. And and I'm not going to put that on screen. I'll leave the links in here. But so the story first came out is that she was shot unjustly by racist cops. Apparently, an officer came to her home on a wellness call and knocked on the door. She opened the door, realized it was police, closed the door, and then she came out and slashed the officer in the face with a knife. He backed up. She followed him down a hallway. Then she and he pulled his gun, saying, "Stay back," whatever. And she continued down the hallway, attempted to stab him a couple more times, and he shot her. And there is body cam footage. It's all over X. It's in the link here, Sydney Wilson. And so that her name and the word justified are both trending. In fact, here it is, the source here, NBCWashington.com. I'll tell you the story. This is from NBC in Washington. Disturbing video shows moments before officer fatally shot a knife-wielding woman. Disturbing body cam video show a Virginia woman charging a Fairfax County police officer with a knife moments before he shot and killed her. Just after 10 a.m. September 16th, a 14-year-old veteran, or 14-year, not 14-year-old, a 14-year veteran knocked on 33-year-old Sydney Wilson's apartment door to perform a welfare check in Reston. As the officer identified himself, Wilson slammed the door shut. Video showed the officer knocked again, and 2 minutes later, Wilson opened the door and attacked him with a knife. Wilson allegedly slashed the officer on the face a few times before the officer pulled his weapon. He has bloody face in the pictures. And retreated down the hallway. The officer fired 3 times before radioing shots were fired, and he needed help. Now, this is interesting because she attacked him with a knife, but it wasn't like he retreated. And then she ran down the hallway and attempted to stab him 2 more times and still had the knife wielded, and he ended up shooting her. They have the video in the corner. Good, the video didn't make it on my screen because I don't want to put it on my screen. And when they say Wilson allegedly slashed the officer in the face a few times before the officer pulled his weapon and retreated down the hallway, the officer fired 3 times. Okay. Within minutes, a plainclothes officer was on the scene and began CPR. Chief Kevin Davis said the unnamed officer did what he could to de-escalate the situation, but he could not retreat any further down the hallway when he fired. It could have been much, much worse, he said. The gash and slash wound he received on the top of his forehead. So, in a welfare check like these, officers usually respond with a mental health co-respond. Oh my God. The mental health co-responder, Davis said, but the one nearby was on another call. Davis said he is thankful for that since the co-responder could have been badly hurt as well. Clinicians absolutely expose themselves to an element of danger anytime they get out of a police car and go up to a door or a scene of a crash or an outdoor scenario with a police officer, and there's an element of risk associated. So yeah, in this case, she came out with a knife, and you'll see the video footage. It's in the links. I'm going to leave it at that. Also trending right now, Joe Rogan is trending. Apparently, Joe Rogan has decided that he is going to vote for Donald Trump. Here is I guess this is it. Let's see what he says here. I'll go full screen on that. There we go.
A handshake for too long gets odd.
Yeah,
it gets
I like
a little odd.
How Trump does the thing where he just pulls everybody.
Dude, he got me. Let me tell you something. I was ready for it the first time. First time I met him. First of all, he has normal size hands. I have big hands. He has regular size hands. He's a big guy. So I was ready.
That's good to know.
I knew I was going to meet him. First time I met him, he came over, just put his hands on my shoulders. You do a great job. But I was sitting. So this time I actually stood up. We made eye contact. I said, "How you doing, sir?" I shook his hand. I'm like, oh, I know he's about to do. So I fucking anchored myself. I'm like, not today, son. Right. Not today.
Not today, Satan.
Give me a nice pull. I'm like, but we were hanging out for a while. So then the next time I met him, he was at a UFC as well.
Did he try to pull?
Dude, I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
I'm sitting down, and he looks at me, and he goes like this, and he gets up, starts walking towards me, and I get up, and I reach over with my hand, and he gets, and I'm over a table. He really fucking got me. He got me good. He got me good.
Okay, anyway, that's a funny Joe Rogan story about Donald Trump. That's not really what I wanted to put on the screen, but apparently... Oh my God, listen to this. what are we talking about here? Hang on a second. I got to fix this too. Because, AD, you deserve a proper announcement of your donation. By the way, AD, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Yeah, baby. And you're our only sponsor today so far, which is fine. I'm happy that you have chosen to make sure that my lights stay on. So that's a good thing. But you do need a proper alert. So here, let me fix that right now. There we go. All right, you get a little Chris Tucker. So there you go. Avocados Diabli says, with a small bullet in the tip jar, cops should really stop doing wellness checks and mental health checks. They never seem to end well for anyone involved. Well, no, they do sometimes. Sometimes they're just like, oh, you're okay? Okay, we just want to check. Someone in your family is concerned and you're an old lady and you're not lying on the floor in a puddle of your own drool and vomit and crap, literally. So anyway, so the thing with, I think somewhere it says Joe Rogan was going to endorse Trump, and I don't see it here. That was the big news that everyone's talking about. But someone here says, okay, wait a minute. Joe Rogan's on Elon's Department of Government Efficiency. You can't afford to have a bunch of people on your company that are doing nothing. Look at the difference between what Elon has been able to accomplish with SpaceX versus what NASA has been doing recently. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Let's see here. Why is he trending then? Here, Joe Rogan now wants Donald Trump on his podcast because it's clear that Trump is going to win. If I were Donald Trump, I would tell Joe Rogan to fuck off. That's Roger Stone. Interesting. Look, for a long time he said he's resisted having Trump on his podcast. Now he said he's willing. And so that has people thinking that maybe, just maybe, he will vote for Trump. Now someone here, Charles Cook, what is Charles Cook saying here? Hold on, look at this shit. I don't know let me see. The guy who was a threat to science and public health, who said racist words, who needed to be pulled from Spotify. The guy who Mara Gay said 3 days ago on MSNBC was recruiting people to fascism. That Joe Rogan, life comes at you fast. So what's this say? What do you put up here? This is from 2022. Joe Rogan is a menace to public health. 270 doctors and experts tell Spotify. Well, hey, that didn't age well now, did it? Wait a minute. What are you talking about? I have a name for what fueled Joe Rogan's new scandal. Bigotry denial syndrome. Okay. What the actual... Sir, okay, let me just answer this. Oh, here, let's see. Oh, here's a scoop. Kamala Harris may appear on Joe Rogan's show. Sources tell me, and somebody here, as the VP works to bolster her reach with male voters. Oh my God, please make that happen. Please, Lord, make that happen. Now, Joe Rogan's not exactly wouldn't be the most probing interviewer in the world. Joe Rogan just basically lets people speak. And that's exactly what I want. I want her to speak as much as possible and say stupid shit and word salad will Joe Rogan be able to understand what the hell she's saying? Hello, Donald Leary. Would Joe Rogan be able to say, what? Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. I don't know why Charles Cook, who the fuck is Charles Cook? Senior editor on National Review. Life comes at you fast. Sir, this is 20. Sir, this is 2024. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, he literally is saying people who recruit people to fascism. Okay, here he continues. I've talked about this before, but I find that the whole 2022 era Joe Rogan panic extremely creepy. Half of the political world downloaded an update that told them that Joe Rogan's show was a crisis that needed solving, and as fast as they adopted that view, they abandoned it. Drones. I've never listened to a single second of a show simply because I spend all day doing podcasts and such, so don't tend to listen to them when I'm not working. Also, he never invited me as a guest on the as a guest the past. Okay, Charles Cook's he's not cooking Joe Rogan. He's cooking Kamala Harris for going on Joe Rogan. I got it now. That took me a minute. Okay. Kamala, have you ever tried DMT? What the hell is that? Okay, he's cooking her for possibly going on Joe Rogan. And then also she's going on Fox News. I'll get to that. So apparently she is considering going on Joe Rogan. I'll believe it when I see it. Here, what does this say? Now, oh my God, I would pay to see her go on the Joe Rogan podcast. So here it is.
Let's talk about his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, what she's been up to, what she's about to do, which is a sit-down interview with Brett Baer on Fox News Channel.
Hilarious.
There's also some discussion we're hearing that she may do the Joe Rogan podcast.
Again, she's trying
the
to
most popular podcast.
Pump up her bona fides with men.
If she does Joe Rogan, if she does Joe Rogan, that's an exact. She's aiming right at young men, right, which is a constituency.
Yeah, they probably laugh at her ass. Hello, Tyler F.
Is getting a little shaky on, and those men are more interested, seem interested in Donald Trump. And so basically she and the campaign are trying to say, we're not scared.
By the way, her going on with Brett Baer, that's a friendly interview too. That's not going to be a hard driving interview. I'll get to it.
To go in front of what folks might think is unfriendly waters or enemy territory and have the same conversation, right?
Meanwhile, let's contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't sat for any sort of interview of any consequence, of any sort of,
What the actual fuck are you talking about? He was on 60 Minutes. He went on with the Association of Black Journalists. Now, he hasn't done any lately, but holy shit. Kamala wouldn't even do any. Donald Trump was doing them.
Aggressive questioning in months.
And I think that what they're doing with these media outlets where they're going to Joe Rogan and Fox, there are people who listen to Joe Rogan who will have never heard Harris speak. Right? They'll have never heard an interview
I guarantee
with her,
you they've heard
where
her
would
speak.
they have heard it? And so I do think there's this...
No, honey, whatever your name is, and I don't mean to be... I'd call the other dude honey too, because he seems a little sweet. Look, every one of these people have heard Kamala Harris speak. Because if you are any media whatsoever, you're going to see something about Kamala Harris. That's not the issue. It's when you hear her speak, you go, what? What the fuck did she just say? Because you don't know what the hell she's saying.
This very smart tact where they are trying to puncture these media silos to get her out there because they feel that she is being misrepresented.
Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, so that's why Rogan's trending, because she's possibly going to go on Joe Rogan. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Karl Rove is trending. Apparently Karl Rove too. He's one of the former Bush people that might be supporting Kamala Harris. God, please. Oh, by the way, do you trust Brett Baer? Remember, Karl Rove and Paul Ryan, who control his job, are actively campaigning for Kamala. Yeah, Brett Baer is not going to be tough on Kamala Harris. Is there a bigger never-Trumper piece of shit in the history of the Republican Party than Karl Rove? Anyway. So that's why he's trending. Town hall. Donald Trump had a town hall the other night. Now, it's kind of a tale of two visions of what how this town hall went. Here, this guy, George, who's a big Trump person, Trump turned Pennsylvania town hall into a worship session. He asked his team to play some of his favorite songs, which included Hallelujah by Rufus Wainwright, Praise God. So what happened is he took some questions, not a whole lot, and then he just had them play music for a while. Some people... Okay, I can't play it because it'll be struck. But anyway, so, and then he basically took some... the whole room is singing. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I screwed that up. Ooh, yeah. The whole, I don't know why they did this. Two people fainted inside of Trump's town hall. And some people said he just stood there. I'm going to put the music
For
on.
security reasons, they can't. But you know what? I said just open them. Because anybody comes through those doors, you know what's going to happen to them.
So somebody fainted at the thing, and he had them open the doors to get some air in there, and took care of him. And it's funny because some people on the other side said 2 people fainted and he didn't do anything about it. He just let them. He didn't even care. Whatever. So anyway, here's another one. President Trump turned his town hall into a concert tonight, and the energy was amazing. He gives people hope in the way no other politician is capable of. So that's one version. Here again, Trump paused his town hall for a second time in 5 minutes as a second attendee needed medical attention. Trump told his guys to open up the doors and let cool air in despite what he called security concerns. Someone here, here's what the Kamala camp is saying. Trump appears lost, confused, and frozen on stage as multiple songs play for 30 plus minutes and the crowd pours out of the venue early. Okay, that's what they're saying. That's what her saying. Now here, Greg Price says, Kamala HQ is now mocking President Trump because he stopped his town hall when 2 people in the crowd had medical emergencies and listened to music with his supporters for the last 30 minutes, a new low for a truly pathetic campaign. So apparently they stopped the town hall because these people needed medical attention and he didn't want to speak over them, so they played music while they were taking care of these people. Someone here, if anyone ever tells you again that Trump rallies, and this one in particular, are empty seats, they are lying. This is the most epic event of Trump's I've ever witnessed. This town hall has become a concert with Donald Trump. God bless President Trump. So anyway, that's 2 versions of what happened. Again, just now, a woman needed medical care for Trump's town hall. He has ordered the doors open to cool the venue down and had his team play Pavarotti's Ave Maria. He called out to the Gold Star family, that's for your boy, totally off script, totally Trump. God bless President Trump. So it's kind of wild. So basically he stopped it because the people needed medical attention and maybe they ran out of time. I don't know. But if you go on here, like I look here under the Kristi Noem tab again here. Oh, he's okay. I see what you did here. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Why did you manipulate the video? Remove Donald Trump's 80-second response to Kristi Noem prior to the music playing, complete taking out of context. Okay, somebody here. Oh, that's Dan Scavino, who no longer likes Donald Trump. But anyway, Kristi Noem is featured prominently in some of these things. So AD, you'll want to look through this because I know you probably like her. Okay, YMCA is trending because that's one of Donald Trump's favorite songs that was playing, and also Sinead O'Connor is trending because some people are pissed that. Here it is. Last night, Trump skipped his town hall, danced to Sinead O'Connor, and stayed up until 2 a.m. tweeting nonsense. Normal presidential stuff. These are people that don't like him. Another people, so, what the fuck is happening here? Also, doubt Guns N' Roses, Sinead O'Connor, and Prince would be happy with this clown using their music at his cult rally. Well, look, this was not like a televised or event. The idea that you can't play music at events because, oh my God, these artists may be upset. Well, if you buy a license to play their music, you can play it. Fuck off. Did she shoot walls by chance? No, she didn't. Okay. All right. What's next in here? Okay, let's talk about the Brett Baer, and then we're going to talk about black men. Kamala Harris is going to go on the Brett Baer show. Oh my God. This is Brett Baer. He posted this on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. He said, I want to hear from you. What would you ask Vice President Harris? Send them to me here or on Instagram at Brett Baer. Well, I have a question I want to ask, and maybe the rest of you've noticed this. It's amazing that so far I haven't heard anyone ever ask of Kamala Harris or Tim Walz about any of the transgender stuff. Now, I know it's not the hugest issue, but it's one that is interesting and probably is not one that most Americans would put in their favor. I said I think it's weird that nobody has asked Harris or Tim Walz a single question about parents in several states not being allowed to make medical decisions for their minor children regarding transgender medicalization. Minnesota in particular has passed laws removing parental consent at a certain age, even if the child is from another state or in spite of court orders from other states. Nor have they been asked they've never been asked a single question about that I've seen. While this may be a minor issue, no pun intended, it seems weird that Mr. Mind Your Own Business has injected the government into personal, family, and long-term medical decisions with the threat of government intervention, as in taking your kids away. And no one's asked them about that. Or, transgender women and men in women's sports, or men and women's prisons. No one's asked them any questions about that. Now, again, it's not the biggest issue, but it's certainly an issue that wouldn't go in their favor. Now, here's some other questions. Now, here's some other questions that people want to hear to ask. I'll just go through a few. When did your husband... Okay, questions that people should ask Vice President Harris on Fox News. When did your husband stop beating his women? Oh, shit. That's harsh. Let's find a few more. Roseanne Barr says, ask her why she only goes on programs of people too weak to actually challenge her. Ask yourself this too while you're at it. Yeah, because Brett Barr is not, he's one of the more soft Fox News people. That's why she chose Brett Baer. But now she can say she went on Fox News. And apparently one of the talking points of the day among the lefties is, well, now that Kamala Harris is going on with Brett Baer, maybe Donald Trump should go on MSNBC with Rachel Maddow. Whoa, hold up. And I saw several of the shill accounts posting that today, which means the talking points all went out this morning and they all typed in the same shit. First of all, Brett Baer would not be an adversarial interview for Donald Trump, for Kamala Harris. He's kind of wishy-washy. He's kind of Karl Rove, Paul Ryan Republican, as in if he's a Republican, it's really wishy-washy and anti-Donald Trump. Versus Rachel Maddow, who is, completely anti-Donald Trump. The bigger comparison would be, okay, Vice President Harris, perhaps you should go on Fox News and be interviewed by Sean Hannity, and then Donald Trump could be interviewed by Rachel Maddow. That would be a more comparable interview. By the way, good morning, Select Boy.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, yeah, that's just some bullshit right there. George says, ask her why she participated in the abuse of Joe Biden and why she covered it up. Ask her if she credits Willie Brown for her career success. Ask her why she uses fake accents to pander to blacks and Hispanics. Ask her why she lied about her parental grandmother in her book. Ask her about her relationship with her communist father. If you ask her just one of these questions, I'll have 1% respect for you. Currently, it's at 0. Okay, there you go. Ask Kamala. This is Tiff. Now, she's a bulldog, man. Ask Kamala, does she know who Felita Sample is and why Sample and others sued her for obstruction of justice while Kamala was involved in a corruption cover-up at the San Francisco Treasure Island shipyard? Now, I have no idea what that's about. I'd be keen to know when it became legal to hand out loans to people based on their race. Ooh, good one. Still, if I had to pick one question, she keeps lying when she claims Project 25 is part of the Trump campaign. That is definitely, unquestionably not true, and she knows it, but she talks about it constantly. Say that and make her defend her lies on that. Oh, that's really a good one. Let's see. Jenna Ellis, I want to know why she lied and covered up Biden's mental health condition for so long. Margot Cleveland, your husband has not denied hitting his ex-girlfriend. Is there currently more evidence that Doug struck his girlfriend in the face than that Justice Kavanaugh even met Christy Blasey Ford? Does Doug still drink? Has Doug ever been violent with you? Oh, snap. Oh, I could stick to this all day. But I got other shit to talk about. So, does she think Biden's cabinet is doing a good job? If so, would she seek to replace any members? Which Republicans would she choose? Margot Cleveland's got a shit ton of questions on here. A lot of them about why she never told the American people the truth about Biden's mental decline. Here, bottom line, Brett, she picked you for the interview for a reason. Everyone knows you're soft on Democrats and hard on Trump. If this comes off as a campaign ad for her, everyone has to boycott your show from here on out, and I swear I'll be the first in line. Yeah, that's just it. We know it's going to be a soft interview with Brett Baier. We just do. And he might ask, a couple tinge of hard questions, but it's not going to be anything masterful. Let's talk about black men. I showed you this earlier, or it's in my thumbnail. Kamala Harris apparently has a plan for black men. She says, and because she's lagging with black men, let's just be honest. Compared to normal, again, black men will still vote 80% for Kamala Harris, which any other demographic, that'd be overwhelming, right? But she has a tough time with men, period. And good morning, Darren Root and Anna Lynn, by the way, and Andrew Thorsten. So here's what she put on her X feed, app formerly known as Twitter. Harris walls policy. Kamala Harris will create an opportunity agenda for black men. Now, let me go through it and then I'll scoff at it. Okay? Because to me, this is just her bribing black men. It's like, like the name of the show. She's going to put some Gucci's in every closet. But what a reality be might get some used pro-keds from Goodwill. Okay? Here it is. The first bullet point, provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable of up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. Now, this is the one where I don't even understand this, but here, let me get through. I'm gonna go through them all and then I'll come back to them. So that's the first one. The second bullet point, supporting education training and mentorship programs that lead to good paying jobs for black men, including pathways to become teachers. The third bullet point, protect cryptocurrency investments so black men who make them know their money is safe. The fourth bullet point, launch a national health initiative focused on illnesses that disproportionately impact black men. And the fifth bullet point, legalize recreational marijuana and create opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this new industry. Now, before I get to this, because this is the dumbest shit I have ever seen, but there are going to be plenty of black men who fall for it. In fact, there's lots of the shills on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, talking about, she has an agenda for black men. Where's Trump's agenda for black men? And I thought the old platinum pan from last time was kind of dumb too, because a lot of it, well, that wasn't dumb. It's funny because the platinum plan kind of focused on things that are already available to black people that Trump would just like, hey, let's get some more people involved in this, right? But anyway, first, Avocados Dalby drops another small bullet in the tip jar. It says, questions Brett should ask her. Can she insert the nuclear football vaginally to keep it safe while she carries it? AD, there are the certain occasions where I read something and after I finish it, I think to myself, self, you probably shouldn't have read that out loud. What the? Okay, good morning, Shrapnel. How you doing? Oh, Lord. Stop. let's go through this stupid list, because I'm looking at this list and knowing that the vast majority of black people in America are kind of in the middle class, you know. I mean, yes, there are a higher proportion of, you know, below the poverty line black people, but again, the vast majority of black people are middle class or better, right? I look at this list and I go, kind of help me understand which of these things are not already available to black men. That was the first thing I thought. Okay, what is something new on here? So she says, provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable. Fully forgivable? So they're not loans, they're grants. To up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. Well, in order to start a business, you probably have to have an idea of a business plan and some other things going on. But look, any black person who's going to start a business probably can find a way to do this, because they're probably either already middle class or better, and they're often college educated, and if they're not, they probably have some business experience. Anyone thinking about starting a business usually already in the middle class. You know, it's not going to pull anyone out of poverty, which is what you think that you're doing for black men with this bullshit. And also, there are all kinds of SBA loans in emerging market areas where you can start businesses and have grants and all kinds of shit. This is already available. And it's going to help the black middle class more than anybody, right? The second part, support education, training, and mentorship programs that lead to good paying jobs for black men, including pathways to become teachers. You know what? This is already available too. And in fact, what cracks me up about this, if your point here is you're trying to help black men who are struggling, most black men who are struggling usually are because they didn't finish high school. The ones that are, because the men who finished high school, got a job or went to college or whatever, we're already there. Okay? So what black men are you helping with this? Well, you're already helping people who are already probably on these pathways, is my guess. You're not helping anybody new. You're putting a shiny little, you know, pair of Gucci's up in the air. And again, including pathways to become teachers. How many black men want to become teachers? You're not doing anything for the black men who don't finish school. And that's the bigger problem. It's not the black men who would take advantage of this that you're coming up with that are the problem. It's the ones in these inner city schools that aren't graduating or graduating and can't read. What are you doing for those people? This is the wrong focus. You're starting at the wrong entry point. You got to start at the grade school level earlier. And part of that would be fixing schools, and part of that would be fixing culture so that people cared about getting to this point. So far, you're just helping middle-class black people who are already middle class. The third one, protect cryptocurrency investment. Who are you targeting with that? Protecting cryptocurrency investment so black men who make them know their money is safe? Is that really just pandering to the cryptocurrency people? Why did you focus on black men with cryptocurrency investment? Anyone who's making investments in cryptocurrency, probably already middle class. All you're helping is people who are already investing in something, which is great, but what does that have to do with black men? Are black men disproportionately in the cryptocurrency investment markets? I don't know, but that don't make sense. Hello, Chicago Mike. What's up? Nice to see you again. The fourth one, launch a national health initiative focused on the illnesses that disproportionately impact black men. Why? You don't think there's already foundations and non-government organizations on this? You don't think some of the the traditionally black college medical schools are already doing research on a lot of this stuff. You don't think there's enough? Now, look, I don't mind this one as much as the other four. Because, yeah, you should have, the research is important, maybe, but I don't think the government does a good job on this kind of shit anyway. There's far more investment in research done by private universities and other entities, but fine, that's whatever. And the last one, and this one is the one that kind of just pisses me off. You're going to make it easy for black men to smoke weed. Now, this tells me something about you, Kamala Harris, because you were the one who liked to keep people in jail for smoking weed, and then you joked about it on that 105 with, what's his face, the little gay-looking motherfucker. What's his name? What's the dude's name? I don't know why I said he looks like a gay-looking motherfucker. But anyway, so you're making it easier for black men to smoke weed and sell weed. Great. Now, imagine if Donald Trump put that in his agenda for black America. We're going to legalize marijuana so black men can smoke more weed. Well, first of all, it's legal in a lot of states. Let the states deal with it. How about the federal government for the most part in a kind of decriminalized weed? They don't make it a focus as much anymore. But this is just one of those things where I go, you motherfucker, what are you talking about? That's just a stereotype. It's a stereotype, and you jumped right on it. Now, my only other thing I wanted to do today, weed's legal in it's legal where I am, legal where my son lives, legal in California, legal in lots of states already. But again, I just laugh at this thing like, come on. Come on, man. Now, Byron Donalds, Kamala Harris told us she had no agenda for black America. She's been vice president for 1,300 days, and we're all worse off. As a result, black men are going to GOP at historic levels. Now with 21 days, here, let me put on one of my favorite people to post on here.
100 days to enact.
Here's Byron Donalds' take on this.
She's clearly trying to reach black men.
Yes, with weed.
Her efforts are going to make
she's bribing you with weed. Oh my goodness! My main man, Chicago Mike, coming through with a Hamilton, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Chicago Mike, who says, "I'm shocked that Harris is playing the race and gender card." Oh my God, you're not shocked. You are not shocked at all. Oh Lord. All right, Byron Donalds.
No, I don't, and for a number of reasons. Number one, this is the same Kamala Harris where a few years ago she's out there saying that the audio clips are available, the video clips, where there was no agenda for black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
Why?
No.
Oh, why is she talking to that accent? Oh, she's talking to a black person, that's why.
But she actually said that what works for all Americans will also work for black people.
Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that.
Oh, she got. Oh, that's because she's on the griot. That's why. I'm like, why is she in? Blackistan talk? Her Blackistan accent.
Clear about that.
But now she's going to reverse course because she's losing in this race and try to say she's going to do an agenda specifically for black men. I just don't think it's going to work. Number two, she's basically had 1,400 days to enact all these types of policies, and she's done nothing. Actually,
now, and here's what people will say to that. Well, she's not the president. Here's a question for Brett Baer to ask Kamala Harris. Ms. Harris, Vice President Harris, you just recently put up an agenda for black men in your campaign literature. How many of these things in the last 3.5 years have you gone to Joe Biden and suggested that we do these things to benefit black men? How many of these things have you brought forward to the president and asked him to push these items as his vice president? Because you got a month to go before the election and you come up with this bullshit. That's my extra part. So anyway,
you not even spoke to any of these things, but now that we're 20 days until November.
Yeah, when was the last time you heard her talk about any of these things?
5th. Now she wants to run out there with a specific agenda. Everybody knows it's phony and it's fake. It's pandering. It's just politics, and it's not real. At the end of the day,
all of those things on that list too are all things that are already available to black men. I mean, the SBA does small business loans. Some of them forgivable, some are grants, whatever, for small business, especially in emerging markets, minority areas, low income areas where you can open businesses and get these special grants. It's already available. Now, I don't know if there's 20 billion available. She's trying to say she's going to do, which she has to get through Congress again and has no plan for that. But anyway,
black men are looking for, like all men in our country and all people, is an economic agenda that actually works to helping you grow your wages, have prices be stable, be able to build Byron, and to pass something on to the next generation. And it is crystal clear if you compare Kamala Harris's economic record to Donald Trump's economic record, that when Donald Trump was president, wages adjusted for inflation were significantly higher. People were able to save more. People were able to buy a home, and people were able to start building wealth. The Kamala Harris economic agenda has not been good for any American, including black men.
All right.
She's clearly trying to reach.
All right. So there's that. The only other thing I want to do today, and I'm not even opening articles today. I got Ace's. I got the Ace aggregator up here today for extra articles if you want to find some stuff to read. A lot of good stuff. But here's what I wanted to do. So I wanted. Oh, by the way, what is this? So I wanted to go under the. I just did the trending topic. It's not a trending topic, but black men. And I looked that up. Oh, by the way, no, we're going to finish with this one. I do have black men. There's all kinds of black men talking about what they want and why they would vote for Trump. Oh, this is funny. Wait a minute. Here's one. See, here's something that I don't know if this is going to. Here, I want to play this for a second. Hang on. Well, I'm figuring this out. Thank you, Avocados Diabli, who says, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar, 223. That is the trick, P-Dog. Since they are already available, it is super easy to turn around on one day and say, look, we did what we promised. Yeah, that's true. She could easily do that, and thank you again for the donation. But but this is the smoke and mirrors part of it right now. She's bribing black men for votes. Oh, we're gonna get up to $20,000 to start a business. Except you still gotta have a business plan, and if you didn't graduate high school and barely read, you know this is not targeted to you. This is targeted to the middle-class black men who finished high school, probably maybe married, maybe have some kids, maybe already been working at a job for 10 years, or they got an idea for a business, they got a business plan. This is for a middle-class black people. That's not going to help anyone in the lower end of the spectrum. It's going to help people who already can help themselves. Well, I want more black men who can help themselves. That's where you got to start way earlier than when it's time to decide you want to start a business. You got to start with the ones who aren't graduating high school, the ones who can barely read, the ones who can't do simple math. Or at least, now the idea that you would have job training type stuff, all these people that are coming in the country illegally, like this crew, and not necessarily this crew from Ecuador that came through my neighborhood, but look, why aren't there people who have maybe had a tough time in their life doing those jobs? Or some of these guys are running equipment that I'm like, how did this dude from Ecuador learn to how to run this boring equipment that goes under the street and bores a hole so they can pull fiber optic cable through it? He's running this big complex machine. He's from Ecuador. Somebody taught him to do that, and I'm sure he's making, decent money per hour to do that. Why aren't the black men who used to be the roofers on my house, why are they all speaking Spanish these days? Those were good jobs that black men had. So when someone says black jobs, it's like anyone who was black who had a job that's now being replaced by someone who speaks Spanish or Portuguese or Chinese or, Hindu, whatever. So this is someone to use an interview and correct somebody for saying Barack Hussein Obama. Let me see this.
You have a friend. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. You know him?
I do know him. I do.
He recently in Pittsburgh.
President.
Let's get it right.
Yes.
Yeah, President. President Barack Obama. You have a friend.
Oh, whatever. She corrected him. Good God. Now, there's a bunch of people. I really get offended, but I am offended by Kamala Harris's agenda for black men. Let's see what this guy says. We'll do 2 of these and then I got to go.
Things that clearly violate. So, Kamala Harris released an agenda of things she wants to do for black men. It's not like she was in power for 4 years. It's a list of things that clearly violate the Civil Rights Act. Provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. Support education training and mentorship programs that lead to good paying jobs for black men, including
already available. There is so much. There is so much education, training, and mentorship programs available that could be being used right now.
Currency investments, so black men who make them know their money is safe.
Why is that exclusive to black men? That's the other one I'm still trying to figure out when I read it.
The blockchain is racist somehow. Launch a national health initiative focused on the illnesses that disproportionately impact black men. We already have those. It's called the gym and a healthy diet. Legalize recreational marijuana and create opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this new industry. So really, she just wants to make it easier for black people to sell drugs.
That's what I said. I have not even read this before.
Something tells me the Civil Rights Act kind of goes against this whole thing of racial preferencing. I'm hoping by now that every black person knows the handout state has failed the community. If Democrats really want to help the black community, they would support abolishing the welfare state, quit paying disproportionately black people to remain home and be lazy, quit subsidizing single motherhood. They would support shutting down the Department of Education and returning education back to the states and implementing universal school choice because black illiteracy rates are higher than ever. So the system as is has completely failed. They should also support cutting down the size of the federal government by up to 80%.
Ooh! Ow!
90%. 90%.
Oh, snap.
95. We don't need them, man. Anarchy, man. We just need anarchy.
Okay, we don't need anarchy, but let's not go that far.
Eliminating the income tax.
Woo!
Black men deserve a president who cares about making their lives better. No, I think we deserve a president who's just good for everyone. I'm considering this a bribe in a way. Look, I'm going to give you some money if you just vote for me. Nothing in there about merit. Like only giving loans to businesses that can prove solvency. Luckily, I believe there's a growing contingent of black men and women that are no longer interested in identity politics.
I
they
hope
want the
so.
Same things that will benefit all Americans.
Of course they do.
The same things
of course we do.
Will never support. Can November 5th just get here already? I can't wait to vote this witch out, man.
Okay, that's
Kamala Harris released
okay, hang on, hold up. All right, I'm going to finish up with this one because why are black men voting for Trump? And this is I'll go through half of it and you can watch half the rest on your own. But this is actually 4 minutes and 50 seconds of straight fire.
I want to know why you're advocating for, you're voting for Trump or you support him. So can you tell me the policies the reason? I just want to know. What policy?
I noticed that Kamala Harris is filling a lot of Trump's talking points. So, for example, no taxes on tips. I do believe that we need to have a lower tax rate across the board One of the things that he stands on is that we need to have an audit of the federal government, because the federal government is not spending our money correctly. I think that there's a lot of mismanagement. I think that there's a lot of waste. So a proposed policy that creates a governing board that's led by Elon Musk, a true businessman, to go in and do an evaluation of every single branch of government in order to make sure that we're running lean. I stand for that. I stand for less government.
And not that kind of lean.
Government should play a larger role in our life, which is also.
But
I'm sorry. You gonna let me answer the question?
You're right. Go ahead.
I do stand for smaller government, which also spills over into the whole reproductive rights issue, because I don't think that everything should be governed on a federal level. I think that things need to go back into the state and people vote based off of their interests. And then as a result, that's where the law stands. I also believe in more pro-business, and I believe in capitalism at an extreme level. I don't believe in these socialist agendas where you can then tax your way and continue to raise taxes on people that already pay the overwhelming majority of the taxes inside of this country. I do like the idea of no tax on overtime. Again, I know that Kamala Harris stole the no tax on tips. And if you look at some of the things that he's done and implemented, for example, as lowering the tax rate, what it did was it generated more revenue for the federal government, because it allowed for businesses to then bring the majority of their revenue over into the United States of America and invest in manufacturing. I do support tariffs, and obviously the Biden and Harris administration, they support tariffs also, because they left the overwhelming majority of the tariffs that Trump implemented against China and other places.
Yep, sure did.
In his trade war. I love the fact that he went back and he renegotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement, which made us more competitive, and it helps to save the steel industry. I do believe in tariffs because it allows for us. That's the original way in which we were building this country, was tariffs. Because tariffs and taxes on things that were coming in when people decided that they wanted to do business, which allows for us to be more competitive with China. Because if you look at how they do business in China, Tesla is the only company that was able to go over there and not have to partner with a company in which they stole our proprietary technology to then use against us over here in the United States of America. And so when you look at a lot of these proxy wars, which I'm against all of these wars, and the last 12 of the 16 years in which Democrats have been in office, they've been warmongers. And so when you've seen that there was no new wars under Trump, and that we need to spend more money on American citizens and here in the United States of America, I also support the border policies that Trump is trying to implement.
My bell's on fire right now.
Which is a continuation of what Obama implemented, but then they went against it when Trump then became president of the United States of America. I believe that we need to have stronger borders. I believe in immigration, but legal migration. And I believe that we need to vet people that come over into this country. It's a lot more policies that I actually support and I believe in, both in the past and what's proposed in the future. But I think that Trump ultimately, I don't want handouts.
Hello, Woo.
I don't want people giving out money. I don't want to become a socialist environment. I don't want to pay more taxes. I believe that the system is already okay from what we had, so we do need to go back to that. More importantly, I believe in removing government to allow for us to thrive individually. I don't believe in giving out money. I don't believe in being overtaxed. I don't believe in larger government. I don't believe in open borders. I don't believe in being a warmonger. I don't believe in giving money over to Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel. I don't believe in proxy wars. I don't believe in any of that. So for me, it's very simple. It's very clear. I believe that Trump is a person for everybody, not based off of identity politics. And I also don't support the fact that government has to have a hand in every single thing that we do. It creates more bureaucracy. And I think that all of these numbers are inflated. If you see what's happening in all of these cities across the United States of America, everywhere where it's blue.
That's not. They're already dead. Okay, they're already dead. You already did it. Okay, I've long overstayed my welcome, so I got to get out of here. But y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. All these are in the links today, which I'm going to drop right now. What the hell's going on here? I'm not doing a new. What the hell happened here? No, I don't want. I want that on the. Oh, phew. I don't want a new message. I just want to. No, I don't want to. Okay, no, I don't want a new message. That's good. Close that. What the actual? Oh, I see this. Okay, I see. Okay, there we go. Now I was worried. There's a couple other things in here that I marked that that I didn't get to today, and then clearly I didn't do any articles from Ace, so I just put the whole aggregator in there because there's a lot of good articles in there. But here comes the links for the day. There we go. Copy paste. Here's today's links. There we go. All right, I got to go. Thanks, people. I'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, right around 10 o'clock Eastern, or as close to it as possible. So thank you. I got to go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Bye. Have a lovely day. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.